First of all, thank you all very, very much for coming here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is, Catherine Van Dam. I am not a current co-worker in Botton Village. And it must be remembered here tonight that there are co-workers present, and any co-workers who do speak here tonight make themselves very, very vulnerable indeed. I speak tonight because no co-worker felt that they would be able to speak here tonight without jeopardising their position in the community. It's very important that we remember that. I would like to speak a little bit from the heart. What it is that makes a Camp Hill co-worker. I look around and maybe some of you won't recognise the co-workers here in our midst. I do. I recognise them all. I recognise also the villagers that are in our midst. And I would like to say also that the chair here on my right would be reserved for the villagers and for the representation for their voice. But unfortunately, like the co-workers, we feel unable to invite them here tonight because we would jeopardise them here tonight, that their voices remain silent in this. Very important that we remember this. So what is it that makes a Camp Hill co-worker? What is it that brings people here tonight, all the way from Switzerland, from Holland, from Germany, from Japan, from Norway, from Denmark? What is it that brings them here to a very remote area of the North York Moors? I'll tell you what brings them here. Years ago, 30 years ago this year, I made my first encounter with Camp Hill. I'm from Ireland, as you can probably hear. And I went to Ballytoban in Ireland as a young person, as a young schoolgirl. And I cycled in my school uniform out the roads in County Kilkenny from my boarding school, my Catholic convent boarding school, to this place called Camp Hill. All they told me was they'll feed you well out there and they're a bit foreign. And nobody knew anything about them. I should have gone to the Catholic place for people with a learning disability, but they couldn't take me. And when they rang up Camp Hill, they said, yeah, we'll have her, let her come. And so I did. I rode up on my bicycle and I was very enthusiastic. The first person I met was a Dutchman. He was called René. I had never in my life seen a Dutchman before. I had never seen anybody foreign before. I was absolutely amazed, and he was gorgeous looking, I have to say. And I was captivated, and I was very enthusiastic. And I was shown to the house that I was going to be working in for the week. And I saw, and I would have to say, I saw strange people around me. People that I had never seen before. I saw people in wheelchairs. I saw people that couldn't speak. I saw people that couldn't walk so well. And I saw all around me a lot of people who didn't seem to even notice. They didn't notice anything. They carried on as if everything was quite normal. And to me it looked far from normal. Next thing I was asked, would I prepare the spinach? And I said, yeah, of course, I'll do anything you like, just tell me. I imagined, like I would at home, washing a few leaves of lettuce. Next minute, a wheelbarrow was wheeled into the kitchen. After about 5 minutes later of me washing every leaf, some very capable co-worker took over and said, I'll show you how it's done. I was very disappointed when the spinach, the wheelbarrow, turned into about that much in the end. Anyway, so what is it that makes people, all these people, come from all over the world to that unique thing that I found there in Ballytoban, in Ireland, that captivated me, that has sustained my interest in the Camp Hill movement since then? It was without a doubt that care, that respect, and that compassion that I saw for those less able and much more vulnerable than ourselves. That's what captivated me, and that's what led me many, many years to Botton Village, to carry on that. I was a co-worker myself for 5 years in Botton. I know it very, very well. And one can wonder, what is it again that makes them come here? And I think it's a sense of vocation. It's a sense of vocation. It's a wish to create community. It's a wish to create life together, something living, something moving, something dynamic, to create that together. And we don't create that on our own as co-workers. We create that with the people with a learning disability beside us, without inquiring into their disability, without looking into their disability, as equals, one to the other, one to the other, look in their own eye as individuals and equal to ourselves. It's And I would say that's a deep and an inner commitment to do that, that each and every co-worker who comes to Botton Village and comes to the Camp Hill around the world, because let's remember that the Camp Hill movement now is a worldwide movement. They have Camp Hills on every continent, Nick? Or maybe...
Not China.
Not China, but we're working on it. Yeah. So I think, to come back to that, a commitment, and also a commitment to share lives with those people less able than ourselves. But this is not a one-sided relationship. This is definitely not. And I would urge all of us here tonight to not use the word beneficiary again, and to not use the word service user again, because those words are divisive. And I took this up with Frances Wright myself. They are divisive. I use the word villager myself as the least divisive word, because sometimes one needs to just say who we're speaking to, when we need to, if we need to, yeah? And most of the time we don't, because we speak of, the individuals that are concerned. The beneficiaries, the service users, in no way reflects the contribution that these people make to life. And not just our lives, but lives of everybody. It is collective we do this. I was in Botton last week, and I walked by a house, and I saw it was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. And I saw outside the house a paddling pool. And I saw little children playing in the paddling pool. And I saw around the paddling pool some quite old and frail villagers sitting round the paddling pool, watching and looking at these beautiful little children playing in the paddling pool. And I thought, that is Botton. And the co-workers just busying themselves around, looking after the children, looking after everybody. There's nobody looking after that one villager. People are looking after everybody together. And let's acknowledge the contribution that everybody makes here. I spoke to a villager in Botton that very same day, and I was asking him how he is, and he said, I'm fine. He said, I love those babies, and those babies love me. Yeah. And tonight, I think, we stand here on the edge of history tonight, because that is the essence of Camp Hill. And that is what, if we don't all stand up here tonight, that is what we lose. That is what we lose. Now, you can ask, I could speak forever on this subject, as you can know, even though I'm terribly nervous, but I could.
No, you can't, because I'll stop you.
Yeah. But to come back a little bit to what James was saying, you can ask, why do we do this without wage? Excuse me, I speak we, because inside one there's always a Camp Hill co-worker at heart. I still feel very much part of the Camp Hill movement, even though I work outside now. I live outside, my life takes place elsewhere. So what makes these people who still live in Camp Hill do this without a wage? What makes them travel from all around the world and decide to do this voluntarily almost? Their needs are met, and their needs are met well, and no Camp Hill co-worker takes a vow of poverty. And it must be remembered in that context that everybody is looked after in exactly the same way. Nobody is benefiting more or less. Everybody is looked after in the same way in this community, because it is a community building together. So what makes them bring it? Well, my experience of having done both, I've done both, and one must never look upon employees as bad people in any way, as has been suggested, that Camp Hill people look on employees and see that as bad. Camp Hill and Botton has benefited hugely from the contribution of employees over the years. We have valued them hugely. I recognise them here tonight, and I thank you for coming here tonight to support us. But the difference between being an employee and working and living and sharing your life with people is that, and I speak here from experience, I work and I hope that I do my work very well. And I hope that I do it with love, and I hope I do it with care and respect for the women and babies that I look after. But make no mistake, my life happens elsewhere. I come home and I live life, because life takes place elsewhere. In a Botton Camp Hill community, that separation doesn't exist. Life is life. It takes place there and then, with all its wonderful colours and all its shades as well. Life, that is life. And people create, my experience, and I have also, through my trainings, I have experienced different provisions for people with a learning disability. And I have yet to meet any, even though there are very good ones, I have yet to meet any that can deliver that true life experience that Camp Hill can deliver. that real, true, human-to-human experience that Camp Hill can deliver. So that's all I would like to say, really, just on the voice of the co-work, and just to remind us again that I think here is a historical moment, and we need to think very strongly about that. Thank you very, very much again.
Thank you, Catherine.